You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, Lonnie Walton is going to show us the secret behind more than 90 years of business for a Lamar Theater.
Also, an update on the progress of Miami's BF Goodrich cleanup and what comes next.
And rain already falling this morning. It will continue to do so. We'll have a look at your forecast coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's just after 7 a.m. now on this Thursday, June the 12th. And it's a bit of a rainy day. Honestly, it is a great day, though, to go in and watch some movies.
Certainly is. In fact, Lamar Plaza Theater has been a summer favorite since 1934. And that means it survives many economic issues that previously faced the nation.
And as KOAM's Lonnie Walton reports, the theater says they're seeing an increase in traffic this year.
I spoke to a local who says it's his first time coming to this movie theater, and I also spoke to someone who says it's nostalgic.
It's a nice family-oriented place to go.
Lily Nims was born and raised in Lamar. She says this was a place to be back in the day.
The square used to be popular, so we'd all go to the movies and then we'd cruise the square and stuff and just hang out.
And she's not the only one. A local principal says she brings her kids here all the time.
It's an opportunity for kids that don't normally get to go to the movies, We've got 4 kids with us today that have never been to a movie theater, and it's one of them's birthday.
And of course, we had to meet that birthday kid and ask them what their favorite part was.
The bad guys part.
Scott Kelly is the manager of the theater. He says he's been coming here since he was born. He says it's been an increase in foot traffic, but not much else has changed.
Still has the original hand-painted murals on the walls, and the texture and everything is pretty much the same as it's been.
Nim says this place continues to be a place where people engage.
It's just nostalgic. We've just been doing this our whole lives. Like I said, I think it's been here my whole life, and I'm 37.
And I had to ask birthday boy if he was having cake today.
No.
And residents say they hope this building lasts for the next 50 years. Reporting in Lamar, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Attendance at the theater is free, but you can donate.
And area businesses also help fund the building. Of course, there's a lot of history in the 4 states. Plaza Theater, one of them. There's the Barco up there. We've got the 66 Drive-In in Carthage. A lot
so
of
much charm places. To old movie theaters.
And it's like they said, it's nostalgia.
Yes.
You're going back in time. You're seeing something new, but you're seeing it, as if you were there back then.
Absolutely,
very cool indeed. Well, we also have cooler temperatures today. In fact, we knew it was going to be a little cooler than where we had been the last couple of days. It's going to be a little cooler than even that for us today, thanks to the rain and the cloud cover. Where can you see that cloud cover? Well, you could go outside or open your window, or if you sit here right in front of your picture box, we can show you outside, because we've got cameras and we have access to cameras, and they're looking outside for us. That way, maybe if you don't have any windows in your house for some reason, or you just don't feel like getting up and opening the blinds, you don't have to, because that's what these are for. Cloudy skies, we got the rain showers out there. We're seeing pauses, and that's going to be the case. That's the whole nature of scattered showers and storms, is here comes the rain and then it stops for a minute and then here comes another one behind it, and that's what we're going to see today. In fact, that's what we're seeing right now. Take a look. Getting this big gap in the parts of southeast Kansas and into northeastern Oklahoma. And we have another one far southwestern Missouri. And so don't let the gaps fool you. For example, Independence, for a good portion of the time we've been on the air here this morning, there hasn't been really much rain in or around Independence. So we're talking, 2 hours almost of no rain. But don't let it fool you. There is more on the way. All of it coming from the south to the north. Low pressure system out there, kind of just giving us this wave, showers, a few rumbles of thunder. No severe weather expected. I do want to emphasize that. But we could have some issues with localized flash flooding, because some of the storms we get today could have sudden heavy downpours with them. So if you're heading to an area, you live in an area, you're going to pass through an area that is prone especially to flash flooding, then make sure you just got a backup plan just in case. Otherwise, again, no severe weather is expected. It's going to be a bit on the breezy side, and it's just going to rain. That's going to be about it, and it's just more rain across the region. 66, both Joplin and Pittsburgh this morning, and around the region, temperatures hanging on mid-upper 60s. That's where they've been all morning long. Not a lot of movement. Eventually, we will start to climb a bit. Upper 60s through 9. Low to mid 70s by noon, upper 70s this afternoon. It's where our highs are headed for today, only into the upper 70s. And we'll have that southeast wind occasionally gusting to 20. The rain continues tonight. The rain continues tomorrow. Does it continue into the weekend? We'll have a look at that full forecast for you with those answers here in just a few more minutes, Lise.
All right, we'll check in with you soon, Chris. Thanks. A woman who authorities say went on a January shooting spree across 2 states, killing 2 people, has been sentenced. Taylor Santiago pleaded guilty to charges in Missouri related to the murder of her child's father. Those charges include first-degree murder, which she will receive life without the possibility of parole. She also pleaded guilty to first-degree robbery, unlawful use of a weapon, and child endangerment. Investigators say Santiago lured her child's father to her home in Aurora, Missouri, where she ambushed, shot, and killed him. They say Santiago then took his vehicle, leaving her child with the deceased father at her home, and traveled to Carroll County, Arkansas, where she shot the father of one of her other children and his girlfriend. The girlfriend died. Investigators say Santiago then returned to Missouri, where she turned herself into Aurora police and confessed to the crimes. Santiago still faces charges in Arkansas for capital murder and attempted capital murder. Firefighters battled a blaze in Joplin at 7:30 a.m. yesterday morning at Messenger Towers. According to first responders, the fire was on the 11th floor and started in a stove, damaging the interior of the kitchen. Residents on the 11th floor were evacuated. Some other floors were evacuated as well, but most residents in the building sheltered in place. There were no injuries, but due to the heat, some residents received care at the scene. Residents across Missouri are receiving their property value assessments. In Jasper County, homeowners are seeing a jump in value. KOAM's Samantha Walker sat down with the county assessor to learn why.
In Jasper County, more than 44,000 impact notices have been sent out about a change in property valuations. The State Tax Commission is requiring bigger assessment increases this year, averaging between 13 to 15% in Jasper County.
However, with depreciation, when you apply that, it's actually not a 15% increase. It's an average of maybe around 10 to 11%. Some may be a little higher if we made a different kind of change, like a condition change.
The increase is because the county, like dozens of others, is out of compliance with the state. That means the county's appraised value isn't as close to actual market value as required. The county assessor says the changes are connected to the COVID-19 pandemic, which impacted property values across the state.
There should have been a greater increase in 2021 and in 2023, and that did not happen because we rode out the market to see what would happen with COVID, and that put us behind.
She says this year's increase won't get the county back to the desired level yet, but the state has accepted it. The assessor adds she understands people may be surprised when they see their new home assessment.
We encourage people to go out and, call a realtor, get on a realtor website just to see what houses are selling for, and then ask themselves, is that, could I sell my home for what that house is worth, or for what those people are trying to sell their home for?
So if you're a Jasper County resident and your property values go up by 15%, does that mean that your property taxes go up by 15% as well? According to the Jasper County tax collector, that's not the case.
In my case, my property went up 11.6%. But I know, since I'm in the business, my taxes should not go up 11.6%. They should not.
He says that's because of a Missouri state amendment dating back to 1980.
If you follow the Hancock Amendment, it says that a taxing entity cannot get a windfall in revenue, increase in revenue, from reassessment. So it limits the amount of increase you can have. If everybody plays ball correctly and follows the Hancock Amendment, then there'll be a levy rollback to keep people from having a windfall and revenue increase.
He adds seniors who applied for the senior property tax freeze should be getting a notice of whether they were approved next month. If approved, they won't need to worry about what their rates would be after the 2025 reassessment.
2024 is the base tax year, and that's the frozen amount.
Reporting in Jasper County, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
If you believe your valuation is incorrect, you have until June 23rd to reach out to the county assessor's office for an informal hearing. And those are our top news stories this half hour. Coming up next, Dustin Luno from the Joplin Fire Department explains the dangers of kitchen fires. Well, the leading cause of house fires occurs in the kitchen. We have Dustin Luno from the Joplin Fire Department with us this morning to share how you can keep yourself and your family safe from kitchen fires. Good morning, Dustin.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having us.
So, of course, we're talking about cooking fire safety. This comes after yesterday's kitchen fire in the Messenger Towers.
Yes.
Talk to me about what folks need to know.
You know, the leading cause of house fires start in the kitchen. Mm-hmm. So it's just a very common place. There's, you know, hot appliances, hot utensils, things of that nature. And we just need to be a little more cautious, if you will.
Absolutely.
And one of the biggest causes is, you know, honestly, we have very busy lives, a lot of things going on. We start cooking, something like that, and step away for a moment. You know, maybe the kids are hollering or the phone rings or whatever happens. Life happens, right?
Absolutely.
But that heat source continues to heat until it gets to a point where it just auto ignites. So now you have yourself a small kitchen fire. And a lot of people, you know, need to understand that when they're small, they're very easy to contain. A couple little things that we can do, you know, when they are in that small phase, if you have maybe, let's say, a fire in the stove, just turn the heat off and leave the door shut. That stove was built to contain that heat, and it can actually burn there for quite a few minutes. Give us a call, we'll come out, we'll extinguish it.
Yes.
But taking it out of the stove, spreads the fire.
Certainly does.
So, you know, the best bet would be if you had some type of a fire extinguisher in your kitchen. Every kitchen should have a fire extinguisher.
Yes, absolutely.
So you can grab that and you can use it very, very quickly on a small fire. It puts it out very quickly. Still give us a call. We'll come out, we'll just check everything, make sure everything's safe, and everything's extinguished, and we'll make sure your house is safe. You don't have to worry about it. Let's say you have some type of a grease fire on top of the stove. The best way to take that is just turn the heat off and slide a lid over the top of the pan, and it just smothers it out. It goes out immediately. So there's some things that we can do to better protect our homes. And one of the best ones is, like I said, go to your favorite retailer and get you a fire extinguisher for your kitchen. And I brought mine. I hope we're not cooking at the house tonight, but because I brought mine with me. But a nice fire extinguisher is a great tool to have to protect your house.
Absolutely.
You know, have one in the kitchen and one in the garage is a great place.
Oh, sure.
So if you see something happen, you can react quickly. You know, use it once and walk away and then call us.
Absolutely. Talk to me a little bit more about fire extinguishers. Lots of people have them. A lot of people don't use them or know how to use them. So talk to me about proper education.
All right. So what we've done is we have a link on your webpage for the U.S. Fire Administration as well as for FEMA, and it goes through, the pages go through how to select your fire extinguisher and how to properly use it.
Perfect.
So what we're looking for is a multi-rating extinguisher that's good for any type of fire that you may have at the household, which would be a rating of an ABC, which is really good. Just remember your ABCs, right? And that extinguisher will be able to take care of whatever fire may happen in your kitchen or your garage. And again, don't go back and try to get a second one. If you're going to use it, and then just walk away and call us.
Fantastic. Lots of important tips and reminders this morning. Thank you so much for being with us. Happy to have you as always.
Thank you.
Stick around. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:18 now on this Thursday morning, and this is the Skywatch Storm Tracker. We are familiar with it. We have been pretty familiar with it here over the last, really the last couple of months, having some unpleasant colors associated with it with severe weather. Thankfully, it is not the case with the activity today, tonight, or tomorrow. We're just going to see the rain. We have some moderate rainfall out there stretching through parts of southeast Kansas. Independence, and I'm not picking on Independence. It's just a great example. It has been, I mean, I got here, I don't know, about 3 something in the morning. Independence has been dry for most of the morning. You've just been kind of away. You're in one of those gaps. But that's one of the things we've got to be careful of, and not for, you know, terrifying reasons, but if you're doing anything, if you're going to mow the yard or something, or if you're doing something outdoors, that painting, for example, you get into one of these gaps, you don't want to start something outside that's going to take too long, because eventually this rain will fill in again as it redevelops and pushes in from the south to the north. So yes, Independence is a prime example, because you can see this is going back until a little after 3 in the morning, and it's been pretty darn dry once we get to about 4 or 5 a.m. in Independence. That's, you're talking about 2 hours now, 2.5 hours of no rain. But you don't want to start something outside where the rain could be a problem, because it will start up again. But we're in one of those little lulls that could last from now to about 2, depending on where you are. And that shower storms are going to begin to redevelop. Some of them, yeah, it looks nasty. It's not necessarily severe, but heavy rain from some of the storms is the main concern we've got. So we're talking about a localized flash flooding risk if you get under one of these showers or storms that just lets loose a lot of rain in a short time. So again, if you're in an area, or you're passing through an area, or your route to wherever takes you through an area that you know is prone to flash flooding, just keep it in the back of your mind and make sure you've got an alternate route just in case. You don't want to try and drive through it. And again, that's why flash flooding is going to be the main concern, because one of these storms could drop a lot of rain very quickly, and then it stops, and then those water levels will recede very quickly as well. But you still want to be cautious out there, because that's going to be something that's going to be the main concern with these showers and storms as they continue through the evening. Now, late evening and the very early tomorrow morning, we get another little pause, especially across parts of southeast Kansas in the rain. But again, about 4 a.m., it starts right back up again. So we have that low pressure system. That's why we have the spin associated with it. Coming up out of Texas into our area, and then as we go into Friday, it decides to go back away. It starts turning back to the southeast, and there's the flow, and here come the showers on the backside, and those will begin to exit as well by late Friday. Then we go into Saturday. An isolated shower storm is possible. And then as we go into the evening, we're going to heat up. You can see we get hot again by Saturday. But what we're watching is the possibility, and I want to emphasize it's a low chance, of a thunderstorm or two making it into parts of southeast Kansas. If this happens, we could get a strong or low-grade severe thunderstorm in parts of southeast Kansas. We're expecting a complex of storms out to the west. If any part of it holds together, we could get a brief opportunity for a strong storm or two late Saturday. Not looking likely, but it's a possibility. It's something we certainly will keep an eye on for you. Through today, though, again, no severe weather expected. Upper 60s by 8, low 70s by 11, so not a lot of movement on those temperatures. Scattered showers, thunderstorms, cloudy or mostly cloudy skies. Upper 70s tomorrow again. Then we start heating up. We got those storm chances, isolated storm chances, Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, and as we roll into next week, yeah, that's not a typo, unfortunately. That's low 90s building into the 4 states. That's Check Your Forecast. We are back with more right after this.
Well, the city of Carthage hopes you're ready to eat some good food and listen to some classic rock music this Friday. We have Melissa Little, one of the event organizers, with us this morning with an invitation to Food Truck Friday. Melissa, good morning. Happy to have you with us. Food Truck Friday. Talk to me about it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It's something City of Carthage is doing. It happens the second Friday of every month. So, this in June, it's June 13th, which is Friday the 13th, and we're not going to let that scare us away. We are going to be rocking and rolling starting at 11 a.m.
Wonderful.
It'll end at 9 p.m. At 6 p.m. is when the classic rock starts. A rock band will be coming and it's going to give us a show, and we'll be dancing around the fountain and stuff in beautiful Central Park. The Parks Department has really worked hard to make that a beautiful park with plenty of picnic tables.
So talk to me a little bit about the development of Food Truck Friday, how it's kind of evolved, time and time again as you continue to do these wonderful events, and just what it means to the community of Carthage to have such a wonderful event.
Yeah, so it really has transpired into such a great event. I feel like this is my first season doing Food Truck Friday as my event. And, from April to now, I see the passion in these food truck vendors. They're entrepreneurs ready to serve the community. And just bringing the community together really makes, everyone having a positive outlook on just society these days. And so the development of Food Truck Friday is growing. We are getting more retail. We've got some boutique coming. We have permanent jewelry. We have pancakes, anything, everything you can imagine is going to be at Central Park.
Fantastic. The togetherness is so important. Talk to me a little bit about, these local businesses, not only in Carthage, but do you get people from other areas of the 4 states coming in?
Yes, actually, I haven't really done the data, but I believe maybe we have touched all of the 4 states.
Yes.
We have someone come from Salem Springs, all different areas, and this really helps Carthage as a whole as well, because people are coming in from different communities, spending money, getting gas, and paying taxes.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
it comes back.
Wonderful. And of course, you mentioned that classic rock happening at 6 p.m. on Friday. Do people need to bring any blankets or chairs to sit and enjoy the music? Or
if they want to be comfortable, I mean, grass is nice too. But yes, bring your blankets, chairs, whatever. Just bring your family and relax. There's no time frame besides it starts at 6, and just let us take it all in, and hopefully the rain will stay away.
Yes,
I mean, right now it's
crossed.
about 43% rain, but I look at that as we have 67% not rain. So.
Absolutely. There you go. All right, Melissa, thank you so much for being with us this morning. Of course, Food Truck Friday happening in Carthage starting at 11 a.m. Friday. Stick around. We'll be right back.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:30. I'm Elise Snowy. Well, after decades of waiting, hope for a cleaner community takes center stage in Miami, Oklahoma. Residents of Ottawa County gathered at the Miami Public Library yesterday evening to discuss the ongoing remediation and chemical cleanup permit needed for the former BF Goodrich plant. The plant permanently closed in 1986. It sat vacant for nearly 3 decades before its demolition in 2014. BF Goodrich was once Ottawa County's largest employer with 1,900 workers, and company made large tires for farm equipment and off-road vehicles. The cleanup started in March of 2023 and has faced challenges due to decades of pollution at the site.
The main chemical they're looking at is benzene. Benzene is a carcinogen. We've known that for decades. Cleaning up this benzene has only happened in the last 2 years. That's a long time to wait.
The new permit will allow geosynthetic consultants to operate a remediation system to clean harmful organic compounds and hazardous air pollutants from both the soil and groundwater at the former BF Goodrich facility. A former Missouri State Representative, Cody Smith, is honored with the Richard A. Webster Medallion yesterday at Missouri Southern State University. Smith receives this honor because of his efforts to improve the MSSU campus while working in the Missouri House of Representatives.
Kind things that folks have said about me today, I really take to heart and appreciate very much. And I'm just honored to be on this kind of, like you say, a short list of folks that have received this award, and folks like Ron Richard and Gary Nodler that are on that short list. It's an honor to be on that list and share it with them.
Cody Smith served Missouri District 163 during his time as a state representative. Well, after the rains, there is a lot of debris in Grand Lake, but as of right now, Thunder on the Riverboats races are still scheduled for this coming Saturday and Sunday. It's part of the Grand Summer Festival, now in its 7th year at Wolf Creek on Grand Lake. Crews are working to get everything set up and going.
Started as a trop rock event, and it has ended up being, it's just kind of evolved, and it is now like 80s, red dirt, a little bit of everything music. We've got 6 great bands Friday and Saturday night.
Tows in the Grand will start today with the boat race practice. Now let's head over to Chris for a quick look at the forecast.
Yeah, scattered showers, some thunderstorms continuing across the area. We're entering a period where we're going to get a little bit of a lull in activity. It won't stop completely, but we won't have as much rain falling, and then it will start up again. Of course, that's downtown Pittsburgh. MoDOT camera, 20th and Rangeline. See the clouds, a little bit of light getting through because, again, some of this rain taking little breaks. Independence, again, you're a great example because you're right in the middle of one of these big pauses in activity out there. But that's why it's scattered showers and storms. Not just thunderstorm chances today, it's scattered. And this is what scattered really looks like out there. But again, don't let it lead you into a false sense of security. Don't get out there and start some project that's going to take several hours that rain could easily mess up or ruin, because even though, again, Independence, you've had pretty dry conditions for the most part for the last almost 2.5 hours now. You may think, okay, great, I can get out there and, I don't know, paint the boat, paint the deck, whatever. Well, don't, because there's still more rain on the way. More scattered shower storms rolling in as we head into the afternoon. No severe weather is expected, but the primary concern with these storms is going to be the potential for localized heavy rain leading to localized flash flooding as a concern. So again, if you know your route, your area, whatever it is you're doing, if you know you're going to be near an area or passing through an area that's prone to flash flooding, just have a backup route in mind, because again, it's not anything to be too widespread, but if an area that's prone to flash flooding gets on one of these storms with some heavier rainfall for a moment, that's when it could be at least a brief problem. 66 in Joplin right now, as well as Pittsburgh and across the area. Temperatures really haven't moved much, and they're not going to move too quickly today either. We're still mostly into the mid to upper 60s across the area. We'll still be in the upper 60s through about 9, low to mid 70s by noon, because again, with that little gap in some showers here and there, we'll get a little daylight in, a little warmer weather in. Upper 70s by this afternoon, that's where our highs are headed. A lot of it southeast wind, occasionally gusting to 20. Showers, thunderstorms continue again tonight into tomorrow. And then we'll talk about the weekend and the very hot temperatures on the way here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, immigration enforcement protests that began in California are now spreading across the country as hundreds of Marines train just outside Los Angeles. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen has more.
Protesters here in New York City are taking to the streets for another night, protesting against immigration raids and in support of demonstrations in Los Angeles.
This was provoked by the White House.
The war of words between California leaders and the Trump administration is intensifying as protests continue in Los Angeles. Mayor Karen Bass blames immigration raids for the unrest.
The fear and the terror that is in our populations is profound and very traumatizing.
But the White House disagrees, arguing the city failed to protect its citizens.
These attacks were aimed not just at law enforcement, but at American culture and society itself.
Thousands of National Guard troops are already in Los Angeles, and 700 Marines could join them as early as this week. The commander in charge says while troops can temporarily detain civilians, they must wait for law enforcement officers to make arrests.
They are strictly used for the protection of the federal personnel as they conduct their operations and to protect them, to allow them to do their federal mission.
As the protests spread beyond California, the Trump administration is doubling down on its immigration raids. In Chicago, officials say they are preparing for ICE tactical teams to deploy to the city soon.
There will be tactical teams, there will be mini tanks, there will be other tools that they use in which they plan to do raids.
The NYPD says it will only cooperate with federal authorities in criminal investigations and not in civil immigration enforcement. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Kids involved in playing sports learn more than just physical activities. We'll take a look. In Consumer Watch, in what could be a major breakthrough in America's ongoing trade war, President Trump says a deal with China is done. Fox's Rebecca Castor has the latest from Washington.
It's the news Wall Street business owners and consumers have been waiting for. President Donald Trump posting, "Our deal with China is done, subject to final approval with President Xi and me."
The idea is we're going to go back and speak to President Trump and make sure he approves it. They are going to go back and speak to President Xi and make sure he approves it. And if that is approved, we will then implement the framework.
The breakthrough follows 2 days of high-level meetings in London to get negotiations back on track. According to the president, the U.S. will continue to charge a 55% tariff on Chinese goods, while China will charge 10% for U.S. imports. Beijing will also supply magnets and rare earth minerals to the U.S., and Trump will allow Chinese students to study at U.S. schools.
Chinese students are coming, no problem.
But this deal is temporary. President Trump's pause on Chinese reciprocal tariffs expires in early August.
We would very much like to find an agreement that makes sense for both countries. The relationship is complex. There are challenges that can't be eliminated in a couple of months, of course, but there are things we potentially could do.
President Trump also says he's working closely with President Xi to open up China to more American trade. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Just now 7:44 on this Thursday morning. Skywatch Storm Tracker up and running. Got some scattered showers, a few rumbles of thunder here and there. On to the southeast Kansas side first. Got some rain stretching back from western Elk and Chautauqua counties and then eastern Greenwood County around Yates Center, Iola, Burlington, Garnett, Bronson. Chinook, it's getting ready to exit where you are. Erie, you've still got some. Fort Scott, you're kind of in between. Nevada, Sheldon, Lamar. Kind of get the idea. We've just got these scattered showers out there. There are not many of them at this point, but they are out there. And as we've talked about this morning, don't let the brakes fool you because there will be more showers and more thunderstorms developing in the next few hours as we head into the afternoon. Here's what we're looking at on future tracks. So yeah, low pressure is bringing us the rain chances coming up from Texas. It eventually comes up just close enough that it will continue with the rain chances and then turns off to the south and east. In between here and there, some heavy rain is possible. No severe weather expected with any of this activity today or tonight or tomorrow, but heavy rain is going to be a possibility, so some localized flash flooding is a concern. So just keep that in mind as you're taking care of business, whatever it is you're doing, heading out, especially into the afternoon and evening, because they're going to heat up a bit. Not a lot, but enough that we'll get just enough strength for some storms that could produce some heavy rain. Shower thunderstorms continue through the evening. We get another little pause late tonight, say between about 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. And then we get another round of those scattered showers and storms rotating around that low pressure. However, as the low pressure again pushes us off to the south and east, the rain will begin to follow it off to the south and east until it eventually clears on out, leaving us dry for late Friday and into Saturday. Now, Saturday, as you can see on Future Track, a couple isolated showers are possible. There's not much showing up, but then for those you may see stuff online, and I can show you it right now, you'll see for Saturday there is a risk area. It's a level 1 out of 5 for the potential for strong, maybe low-grade severe storms in parts of southeast Kansas. That is there because late Saturday, storms off to our west are going to develop. It is not likely they're going to survive to make it into our area late Saturday. There's that chance, though, and if they do, a couple of them could be a bit on the strong side. So we'll keep an eye on it for you, but it's not looking very likely. If anything changes, if any of that goes up or anything like that, we'll let you know. But that's just what that's for, is at least that possibility a couple of the stronger storms out to our west could make it into far western Kansas, or the far western portions of our parts of Kansas by early Sunday morning. All right, scattered storms through the day. We're going to be into the upper 60s by 8, low 70s by 11. So that's why they're not temperatures don't move very quickly, don't move very fast. Upper 70s by Thursday. This is Thursday. You can tell it's already been a long week. Breezy today, though. Southeast winds gusting to 20. Upper 70s again on Friday, maybe a couple of low 80s. Temperatures heating up, upper 80s, low 90s. Heading into the weekend, couple of pop-up storms maybe Tuesday. Temperatures climbing into the low 90s as we roll through the next work week. Let's check your forecast. We are back with more right after this.
Well, playing sports can provide physical activity, which can increase our mental and physical health.
But for young kids, learning important life lessons, involvement in sports may even boost their morals.
With students looking forward to the end of the school year, many are probably tired of learning.
Hit it! Come on, get up quick!
But for parents looking for ways to keep their kids busy all summer long, psychology experts say enrolling them in youth sports could help them learn new life skills without them even realizing it.
As a parent, we need to think about sport as developmental context.
While sports can provide positive physical impacts for kids, research from Dr. Andrea Edicall of Texas A&M University focuses on what moral attributes athletics can instill.
So how do they learn good from bad, right from wrong.
According to Dr. Edekal, sports should contain an element of competition. But while winning is great, it's important young kids learn how to deal with loss.
Sometimes we think our approach with youth and sport has to be this fluffy, everyone gets trophies and rewards. We want our youth to be presented opportunities where they fail and have to try again.
Dr. Edekal says it's through overcoming adversity that young kids can develop morals like empathy and compassion.
What kids are actually learning as being a part of this game is how you make decisions, how you reason around the types of behaviors you want to display, or how you rationalize how you act and treat others in sport.
Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
Of course, sport's a very important thing to take part in, and also always a great opportunity to take time, learn the English language as best you can.
Certainly.
I'm telling you, we were just talking about it. They are there in their car. It's 3 versions of there in one sentence, man.
Tricky.
All right, you know what else is somewhat tricky? Those scattered showers and storms. You know why? Because Independence, I'm sorry, you've just been the great example. It's been like 2.5 hours since it last really rained in Independence. You're a perfect example. So you're waking up like, boy, it stopped raining. It hasn't rained for a while. I'm going to get out there and take care of the deck or the boat or the whatever. Don't do it because more rain is on the way. Let's show you the Skywatch Storm Tracker first. Again, so there's that kind of opening. That's the whole nature of scattered storms. But between now and about 2, we could get some of these bigger gaps where you may have a couple hours. Now, if you can get done with the deck or the boat or whatever in an hour and then it'll be dry or done or whatever before it starts raining again, okay, great, fantastic. Otherwise, don't let the gaps in the rain fool you. We've got more on the way. It'll continue to redevelop across the area. In fact, very slowly, you'll start to see some of these little showers reorganizing down here. Now, I want to again emphasize no severe weather associated with today's storms tonight or tomorrow. But in addition to just the showers and storms pushing through, we could get some that could produce some heavy rain, leading some localized flash flooding. So that's something we want to keep an eye on, especially if you know you're wherever you are or wherever you're going is prone to flash flooding. You'll want to keep that in mind as we head through the afternoon and evening. We'll get another break, say between about 11 and 2 a.m., especially into southeast Kansas, where the rain will stop again for a little bit. And then more showers and storms are going to build in as we roll through our Friday. The low pressure system bringing us the rain will start to shift off to the southeast by late Friday. And as it does so, it's going to take that rain right along with it. We're going to be upper 60s, near 70 to start, low 70s by 11 o'clock this morning. Another look at your forecast and the news you need to know right after this.
And here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Firefighters battle a blaze at 7:30 a.m. yesterday morning at Messenger Towers in Joplin. According to first responders, the fire was on the 11th floor and started in a stove, damaging the interior of the kitchen. There were no injuries, but due to the heat, some residents received care at the scene. Taylor Santiago pleads guilty to charges in Missouri related to the murder of her child's father. Those charges include first-degree and first-degree robbery, unlawful use of a weapon, and child endangerment. Investigators say Santiago shot 3 people, killing 2 between Missouri and Arkansas. Santiago still faces charges in Arkansas for capital murder and attempted capital murder. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And we'll have those scattered showers and thunderstorms continuing today. Southeast winds occasionally gusting to 20, highs eventually into the upper 70s. And again, no severe weather expected. Shower storms continuing through the evening and overnight back into the mid 60s. And they'll continue, through most of our Friday. They'll start to wrap up late Friday. A few isolated pop-up shower storms Saturday, Sunday, and Tuesday. And then by next week, temperatures taking off as we climb into the low 90s rolling into next week. So get ready for the heat.
Alrighty. Well, Special Olympics Kansas ends its sports season with a luau cookout. The athletes joined together for an outdoor lunch and participated in games such as cornhole and kickball.
It was an opportunity for the athletes to strengthen bonds across agencies. The Southeast region hosted 23 events last year. They are set to roll into bowling in about 2 months. So
very fun.
They have a lot of great events, a lot of fun out there.
And
some of the events are outdoor. Hopefully the rain does eventually let up a bit so some of those outdoor events can happen.
Right.
In the meantime, indoor events, not a bad idea.
Not at all.
Because it's we needed the rain, but now it's getting a little ridiculous.
I know, it's a little too much, yeah.
Well, thank you all so much for spending time with us this morning. Hopefully you had a great time. And if you did, make sure you join us again today at noon.
Have a great rest of your morning.